Nick Newman will receive some unfavorable news when the police officer verifies Ian Ward's narrative and that he is a prison chaplain after his lawful release, according to The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, January 3rd. But if Ian dares to cause further suffering for the people he loves about, Nick will threaten to make him wish he had never been born. Nick will discover that Sharon Newman is absent once he enters society. Nick would eventually go to the cabin with Faith Newman to search for Sharon after wondering if Ian was responsible for her poison medications. Nick and Faith will proceed to the main ranch home as Sharon won't be present. After learning of Ian's release and return to Genoa City, Victor Newman will decide to track him down and speak with him. Jordan would inform Ian back at the motel that Sharon awoke for a moment but was hit with more chloroform. Ian will explain that it's almost time to bid Sharon farewell and will discuss his ambitious plan. Making it appear as though Phyllis Summers was responsible for Sharon's death is the aim. Ian suggests that it would be poetic if Phyllis crashed Sharon's vehicle into the river at the same location where Sharon dropped the body of Heather Stevens. Ian will predict that Mariah Copeland will be distraught after boasting about Sharon's watery grave and how Phyllis will be held accountable. Ian will believe that's how he'll return to playing the role of a father figure. Ian will remind Jordan of Mariah's bond with Claire Newman, but Jordan will complain since she doesn't see how this will further her own goals. He will pretend that gaining Mariah's trust will give him access to Claire. Tessa Porter will reassure Mariah at Society on Friday's YNR episode because she spent the most of the evening watching Ian. Tessa will then be certain that Ian is not the cause of Sharon's disappearance. Mariah will assert that she is stronger now and will make a commitment to protecting her family, but Tessa will be more worried about Mariah and how Ian's reappearance will impact her. More memories will come flooding back when Phyllis goes for a drive and ends up in the same location as her crash. Phyllis will tell Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Summer Newman about that drive and how she can still clearly recall the driver when she gets back to the jazz lounge. Phyllis will admit that it wasn't Sharon but rather an elderly woman with spectacles and wavy hair that she didn't recognize. If Phyllis is mistaken about Sharon's guilt, she will say she's willing to accept it after pledging to let go and letting the authorities handle the Heather probe. Claire and Kyle will have a late New Year's Eve countdown at the Abbott home before they kiss and go upstairs to make love. Kyle will discuss their growing bond and how safe he's always felt with Claire once they're cuddling in bed. Kyle will be adamant that love and atonement are the reasons it's possible, while Claire will be apprehensive about their developing relationship and feel she doesn't deserve it. According to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Kyle and Claire are in for some difficulties, so tune in. According to Friday, January 3rd spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Ian Ward's allegations will be validated, thus the Newmans will have to acknowledge that he was given an early prison release. Nick Newman won't understand it, but he will still need to inform Victor Newman of his former adversary's arrival back in Genoa City. Victor will undoubtedly lose his temper and demand an opportunity to face Ian directly. Victor will soon corner Ian and start threatening him, but Ian won't be alarmed. Victor won't believe Ian's purported metamorphosis, despite his insistence that he wants to atone for his previous transgressions. Victor won't want Ian near GC because he won't think Ian has changed his life. Victor might threaten Ian with dire consequences if he doesn't leave town. But despite Victor's fury, Ian should not back down because he has no plans to leave. According to YNR spoilers, Phyllis Summers is going to be questioned. Phyllis may claim she wanted some alone time to think as Daniel Romalotti Jr. will be curious about her whereabouts after she left the party. In the end, Phyllis will confess to Daniel, which may include her resentment of Sharon Newman and her desire for retribution. When Daniel discovers Sharon is missing, he might become worried if Phyllis begins to reveal details about his revenge dream. However, Phyllis might start talking about her crash recollections and come to terms with the possibility that the truth is more nuanced than it first appears. Nick will soon learn that Sharon is no longer there. Nick will be concerned about what might have happened to Sharon because her car is still close by, and he might believe Ian was involved. Naturally, Ian has already discussed with Jordan how they could take advantage of Phyllis's wild side, so a frame-up may be in the works. When the authorities begin looking into Sharon's disappearance, Phyllis may appear to be her kidnapper. Claire Newman and Kyle Abbott will get together for a New Year's celebration in the meanwhile. To start 2025 together, Kyle and Claire will make up for their inability to have a midnight kiss with a belated kiss. Our predictions indicate that Claire and Kyle are currently enjoying their romantic bliss, but they will eventually encounter some challenges that could destroy their relationship. According to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Kyle and Claire will embrace their current bliss, so watch for some endearing moments. According to teasers for The Young and the Restless, Billy Abbott will continue to be motivated by his desire to get revenge on Victor Newman and regain the things he has lost. Viewers of YNR are aware that Billy intends to manage Chancellor and hold Victor accountable, but he will also find time for romance. Even though it won't be easy, Sally Spectra will try her hardest to guide Billy in 2025 in a better direction. Sally will make an effort to be a constructive influence in Billy's life, but his worst tendencies will still be an issue. Sally will remain a positive influence despite Phyllis Summers causing difficulties and escalating Billy's undesirable traits. Billy will be drawn into Sally's brightness and may experience more intense emotions as a result. Given how impetuous Billy can be, we might be seeing the start of a lovely love story, one that progresses pretty swiftly. It won't be shocking if Billy pops the question sooner rather than later because he might fall hard and quickly. By spring, will Billy have a ring for Sally? Billy may choose to pop the question and hopes Sally will consent to a quick engagement if he is unable to control his emotions. It goes without saying that Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson appear ready to give in to their true feelings for one another. The restored friendship between Chelsea and Adam may have an impact on Billy's behavior when they rejoin romantically and rebuild their family with Connor Newman. As a result, will Billy be tempted to move things along with Sally? Could Billy's actions be influenced by a trace of envy and a wish to let go of Chelsea completely? Billy could swear that his love for her is genuine, but Sally might start to question his intentions if he goes engagement ring shopping. In any event, if things continue to go well, Billy and Sally may solidify their relationship as a long-term partnership. We'll keep you informed about any impending love milestones since, according to our YNR forecasts, Sally and Billy will create something unique as an intriguing new couple. According to spoilers on The Young and the Restless, four characters spend a significant portion of New Year's Eve having fun together at the Jazz Lounge. Naturally, we are referring to Michael Baldwin, Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, Diane Jenkins Abbott, and Jack Abbott. Diane and Jack currently enjoy a solid marriage, which they hope will continue to be so as 2025 approaches. Even though Jack and Diane had a lot of family issues last year, they are optimistic about the better days that lie ahead. Similarly, although Lauren and Michael's marriage is stable, viewers are aware of how easily a soap opera may go south. Couples might be thrown into disarray with just a few problems and challenges. Because of this, we couldn't help but notice that certain of the exchanges in the January 2nd episode had the makings of a meaty plot. The passion between Jack and Lauren was exploding as they danced together, potentially opening the door to temptation in the future. Even Michael pretended in jest that Jack was a rival, but what if YNR was setting the stage for something to occur later? Under what conditions may Jack eventually cheat on Lauren? The strong bond between Michael and Diane cannot be disregarded either. Michael finally forgiven Diane and condemned her to be his lifelong friend after she gave an explanation of why she had to take such dramatic measures to destroy her phony marriage. But on a daytime soap, there's a thin line between pals and more than friends. Since Michael is constantly there for Diane, he might start to show interest in her if Lauren starts to distance herself. Michael may easily become involved in some Newman drama that Lauren finds objectionable. Given the potential impact on Jack and Jabot, Lauren may criticize some of Michael's actions. Diane's marriage may be in jeopardy if she turns out to be more forgiving than Jack of Michael's employment performance. If arguments start and spouses start seeking solace elsewhere, we can definitely see some adultery happening. In addition to possibly facilitating double dates between Jack, Diane, Michael, and Lauren, YNR may also be laying the groundwork for a few extramarital affairs. Would you find a story about a double affair intriguing? Is it possible that Diane will cheat with Michael while Jack cheats with Lauren? According to Thursday, January 2nd spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Mariah Copeland will yell for Ian Ward to leave Tessa Porter because she believes he has hurt her. Mariah will question Ian about how he knew they were married and whether he is tracking them because he will swear he helped her wife. When Faith and Nick Newman appear outside society, they will get enraged upon realizing Ian has returned. Nick won't believe Ian's claims that he's a different person and that he is lawfully out from prison. As Tessa recovers from her health crises, she will eventually come to the realization that Warren Masters is, in fact, the cult leader who destroyed Mariah's childhood. Mariah won't blame Tessa for succumbing to Ian's deception and will maintain that she couldn't have known. Ian would counter that he actually works as a prison chaplain and that he was just adopting a different name to escape the stigma associated with his true one. Nick will believe Ian is simply using his old tricks, so he will have Faith call the police and wait inside with Tessa and Mariah. Tessa will not allow anyone to call for an ambulance on her behalf as she will feel better. Tessa will finally consent to see a doctor, but she will want to put an end to all of this Ian drama first. When Tessa questions Mariah about her past with Ian, she confesses that it's difficult to discuss and recalls the day she woke up in a bridal gown after Ian had drugged her. Given that she informed Ian Aria Porter Copeland's name and showed him a picture of her, Tessa will be concerned. Mariah will insist that everything will be all right and will assume that Ian will depart now that he has been exposed. After Tessa laments that she was unable to give Mariah a midnight kiss, Faith will discover that Sharon Newman did not attend the celebration. An unconscious Sharon will be strapped to the bed of Jordan's motel room, her mouth covered with duct tape. He will hold Ian accountable for all of his past transgressions and will never forget what he did to the Newmans once he is back with Nick. Nick won't be persuaded that Ian is telling the truth even if he will eventually produce his identification card as a prison chaplain. Nick will insist on Ian's arrest as soon as a policeman shows around. Ian will insist that he did nothing wrong and that, by helping Tessa with his inhaler tonight, he might have even saved a life. Ian will demand that everything can be confirmed after urging the officer to verify with the prison administration and the Prison Chaplain Association. Ian plans to stay in Genoa City because he will say he wants to atone for his previous transgressions. Diane Jenkins Abbott will make her case to Michael Baldwin at the Jazz Lounge, and he will pardon her for feigning a failing marriage. In addition, Jack Abbott will dance with Lauren Baldwin and beg for Diane's kindness. Lauren would later remark on Diane's teardrop of love necklace and appear amenable to a future double date. Daniel Romalotti Jr. will then confide in Danny Romalotti about his worries about Phyllis Summers' rage and Lucy Romalotti's struggles during Thursday's YNR episode. Daniel will also worry about this whole Sharon incident and whether there is another person out there who wants to hurt people. Danny will reassure him, despite his concern that he would drown in sorrow before escaping the storm's eye. He will assure Daniel that he is always available to listen and that he is only a phone call away, even if Danny is on tour. Danny will schedule some family time with Daniel and Lucy before he departs, as he won't need to return to the road just yet. We'll provide additional plot predictions and updates on all the commotion as Daniel deals with the death of Heather Stevens, and according to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, he has some surprises in store.